Chef Buff Army, I'm bringing the thunders today. I have another anatomy video. Yes, I do. Arm anatomy. The most requested anatomy video. The official D-bag workout. If you've been waiting to try and grow your arms and you want to know the secrets, it's all here. Okay? I'm going to explain the science behind it, what your arm muscles actually do, and how to better emphasize lagging areas. So sit back, relax, and let's learn something today. First, I want to talk about the triceps. Why? Well, they're the biggest muscle groups when it comes to your arms. And as the name implies, triceps has 3 different heads. So we have right here the lateral head, which is closest to the brachialis right here. You have the medial head, which you can't really see, but kind of protrudes out down like so. It's responsible for thickness. And then lastly, you have the long head right back here. Now, what makes this interesting, the 3 different heads, like I said before, you can't isolate. So you can't only target the lateral head. But by learning the function of what the different heads do, you can better emphasize particular areas. Here's a perfect example. What's the function of the tricep? Well, as you might guess, it's the extension of the forearm down like so. Cool, okay. But what's special about the long head, as I was just saying, is that it also is responsible for extension of the shoulder. So if you want to grow your long head right back here, you should try and incorporate exercises that put it at an advantage. So overhead tricep extensions or skull crushers where you go behind the head. And that's where shit gets interesting, because let's say your lateral and medial head, which usually work together quite synergistically, are lagging. So right here, this area you need to grow. Well, the close grip bench press is really good for emphasizing the lateral head instead of the long head. And I know it's not a popular exercise, it's kind of been blacklisted, but tricep kickbacks also emphasize the lateral head instead of the long head. On the other hand, if we're talking about the long head of the tricep, an area we need to improve upon, remember, long head not really emphasized either in horizontal pressing or vertical pressing. You gotta focus instead on doing overhead tricep exercises. And it doesn't just mean doing it directly over your head against gravity. As I just said, you can set up the skull crushers when you bring the barbell behind your head to get a greater stretch on your long portion of the tricep and better target it. Now that's getting a little specific. I'll bring this all right back by saying, remember, your triceps, you should do different exercise variations, and you can never go wrong with something like the dip, which targets both the long, lateral, and medial head quite effectively. Next up, yes, we gotta talk about it, the biceps. Every 16-year-old's biggest fantasy, that really swole, huge biceps with a big peak. Now, as this name implies, biceps has 2 different heads. It has the long head, which is out like so, located here, and you have the short head inside here. And their function is virtually the same, but as I'll explain once again, you could choose to emphasize one area over the other if you get your exercise choices correct. Okay, so what do the biceps actually do? Well, the first one, as everybody knows, is flexion of the actual forearm. So bring it up like so, curl, we got it. But a little less known fact of the bicep itself is to turn your arm from a neutral position like so to supinate. So from here to here. In fact, if we want to target in particular the long head or your biceps, first your brachialis, what you'd want to do is to make sure you're in supination with your hands. So palm facing up when you curl. And an even more obscure piece of information when it comes to the biceps is that, particularly with your long head, it's a weak shoulder flexor. What that means is, if you've ever seen an incline dumbbell curl, it's actually quite effective for putting a greater emphasis on the long head of your bicep. Alright, now we get it. Your biceps are responsible for forearm flexion and also rotating your hand from a neutral to supinated position. So as you see, we got the standard exercises, right? Of course, you got to do barbell curls, incline curls, easy bar curls. But what I wanted to say, if your long head, so if this portion right here is lagging compared to your short head, it's because you should focus more on supinated bicep exercises. So a barbell curl is supinated, that's great, right? It works both, but perhaps a little bit more the long head. If you do an easy curl bar because you have wrist problems, well, that's putting your hand almost in a neutral position. That's going to target more the short head. So exercises like the preacher curl, the incline curl, supinated just dumbbell curls are very effective for the long head of the bicep. Now, the last area muscle group I want to mention is the brachialis, right? So right here, it's responsible for thickness of the arm because it's mostly hidden behind the bicep and the triceps. It's this outside portion like so. And it does a similar function to the biceps, right? Flexion of the forearm, but there's one fundamental difference. Instead of having your arm supinated, as I just said, so palm up, or neutral, you'd instead have it pronated, so back like so. So instead you do a reverse curl. Remember, when you do any curl, it's working all these guys right here, but it's what we're trying to emphasize. So we have the Zottman curl where it reverse down like so. We have the reverse preacher curl, even something like a hammer curl. Remember, everything is a ratio of what it targets will help target the brachialis. To summarize the biceps, make sure that you're doing some sort of pronated work in order to target the brachialis. If you want to target the long head, try some inclined dumbbell curls as well as doing more supinated work. And I could tell you, I'm going to take my own advice for this year because now I do want to increase the size of my arms and we will see the results. So thank you for watching my video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like the video. I happen to think these anatomy videos deserve a strong like, but that's just me. If you're not a subscriber, fuck you waiting for? Stay safe, stay bro curling. Every day you're doing arm day, and I will see my zealous buff army in the next video. Peace. Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm almost offended. I wasn't invited for this video, seeing that my specialization is in arms. Like, chef, what about the forearms? The most important area. Get some Popeye's forearms. Want to know my #1 tip? Go to www.brazers.com, enter special coupon code Matt Ogus or Ogus Cake, and you'll receive 30% off your first 6 months.